Meet me, hit on with the meet me. Hit on with the meet me. Special. What's up? What is up? What's up? Gonna be answering all things VA disability. Top chats. Hey, you got any VA disability questions? Let your boy know. Ashley has hands. Okay. Yeah. VA disability, veteran affairs, claims, VA disability benefits, all benefits, all questions will be answered. What is up? What is up? Hey, any VA disability questions, shout outs, any VA benefits, veteran benefits at all, let your boy know. Gonna be answering questions. Come over here from SoCal. Any questions at all, let your boy know. Oh, appreciate the like, appreciate the love. All right. Well, until someone asks a question, I'll just start talking about, some regular VA nonsense. Hey, feel free to ask any questions. Stop me. It's gonna be talking about VA disability, claims, benefits, all that stuff. Yeah, tune in. Hopefully the audio is good. If the audio is good, let me know in the comments. Let me know where y'all coming from. How y'all doing in the VA claims process, things of that nature. So, okay. No, it's moving too much. Let me just put it right there, right quick, so it's not moving. Me. Okay, so started my VA claims process back in 2017. I got out. I filed my first claim. Got a 0%. Okay, cool. No, 10%. And then from there, just attacked the process. I mean, I really didn't care about the process at that. Just because I got a salty taste in my mouth from the VA. But then, from January, April of 2017, fast forward to December of 2020, got an active duty buddy of mine. He kept talking me into, start my VA claims process, get back into it. So I'm like, okay, cool. I started my process. Well, I restarted my process. My intent to file December 2020. Right after my daughter was born, and then from there I just started, attacking 2 or 3 things at a time. The first thing I attacked was my getting an increase for migraines, as well as submitting another claim for hearing loss and everything like that. Took my migraines from 0 to 50%, and then I was service connected for hearing loss. Both ears, one ear 10%, the other ear 0%, because the tap again, retry, because VA they don't like giving benefits for hearing. So I'm like, okay, you gotta be deaf or lose an ear for that. And then from there, was still doing processing, doing more education, everything like that. Next thing I did was mental health. So I was having sleep issues, anxiety, things of that nature. Got seen for both of those. Got diagnosis, good treatment history. Started developing my personal statements. I started doing personal statements for my very first claim, migraines, up until recently. But right then, I just was focusing on mental health because, you get anywhere from 0 to 100% on mental health alone. So I was definitely going to try to take advantage of that. I had my diagnosis for both, medical history, medication, and I secondary to tinnitus and hearing loss, as well as to the migraines. And then the VA, they give me 30%. I was cool with that. So that I went from 0 to 50, and then with Insomnia, I went from 50 to 70% because they gave me a 30. And then from there, I chilled a little bit. Okay, went for Chris Milliken. We got Big Chris in here. 100% TDIU for mental health, permanent and total. Do I need to continue to seek treatment? Yes, you definitely need to continue to seek treatment, because even though you're TDIU, P&T, unless that disability has a no future routine exam, you're definitely going to have to maintain treatment. Even if it's not future routine exam, it's still always good practice to, at least for mental health, get seen quarterly, 4 times a year, unless it's more, in severe cases. You definitely want to, take care of that. Top chat. Hope that answers your question, Chris. Appreciate the comment. But yeah, you definitely want to maintain the medical evidence, at least couple of times a year. If there is no future routine exam, there is a future routine exam, you definitely want to, keep obtaining that. Maintain your medical evidence. Then from there, once I was at 70%, well, okay, let me try to get in for an increase. So pretty much the next time I did was supplementals for things that I got that was denied for the first time. One of the biggest things was sleep apnea. Sleep apnea and lumbar, cervical strain. Went in for that. Attacked those. Got service connected. For cervical strain, 10%. And for low back, lumbosacral strain, I got 10 for my back, 10 per extremity. And that was all on one claim. I didn't, excuse my French. I didn't submit multiple claims, direct first and then secondary. If the secondaries are associated with the first claim, with back, cervical, anything with the knee, anything muscular, skeletal, you can file multiple disability claims on that single claim. You just need to articulate yourself on the personal statement, personal statement, and you don't have to do it on the VA. They have a designated VA form for personal statements. I personally just utilize Microsoft Word, Microsoft Office, and stuff like that to develop mine, just so it's clear, concise. I got what I'm filing for. I have my symptoms next, the frequency of the issues, and then I talk about how what are the impacts to my personal and to my work life. Then from there, I got service connected. I got pushed to 90%. Okay, cool. Bet. Got service connected for sleep apnea 50. Back and everything 30% total. No. Back was later. So for this one, I just did sleep apnea and cervical. 10% for cervical, 50% for sleep apnea. Put me from 70% to 90%. And then at this point, I'm like, okay, I'm at 90. Well, it says true 86%. Rounded up. I was like, let me just figure it out, finish out strong. Because I'm sure it's going to be something that, something else that bothers me, physically or mentally, that was due to the military. Later on in life, I was like, fuck it, let me just push for 100% right now. So then that's at that point, I resubmitted my claim. I had a supplemental for my back. That's the one I got 10 for my back, 30% per each leg, as well as an increase to my insomnia and anxiety, as well as submitted for IBS and GERD that was being caused by jet fuel I ingested on my second deployment, and plantar fasciitis and flat feet that was service aggravated. So I had two things. I had one presumptive, one service aggravation, one increase, and one was a supplemental. And then I submitted that claim September of last year. By October, I had two exams. One for my back supplemental and one for my mental health increase. Went into the back supplemental with VES. Pretty good doctors there. Very good, And I pretty much got what I didn't get the first time. Okay, let me pause my story. We got Love God. Got a question over here. Let me get the top chat. How do I get service connected for migraines? It's not my record. Filing as secondary to mental health. Had migraines since the 90s, but never complained about it. Okay, so if you're going to file secondary now, your complaints definitely need to spawn or need to be a causation from a direct service-connected disability. So common disabilities are if you're, service-connected for a cervical strain or lumbosacral strain, and it's causing migraines, that could be an avenue. But your complaints need to be, whenever you go in to see your doctor, either physical or through, telehealth, like, hey, whenever I'm having back flare-ups, it's causing migraines. A medication you're taking that's for a service-connected disability could be causing migraines as well. You just need to assess yourself, see where the migraines will fit best, and then start making complaints. Like, I know you said you didn't make any complaints while you was in service, but if you're trying to get a secondary service connection, you definitely want to establish the causation from an already service-connected disability, and then go from there. Definitely for migraines, you're going to need a diagnosis. If you're trying to get, anything higher than the 10%, you're going to show frequency, severity, and what are the impacts to your personal and your work life. Got a couple of videos on my channel pertaining to migraine, secondary to PTSD, secondary to musculoskeletal, cervical, back, things of that nature. And then from there, medical evidence. I would definitely utilize the Migraine Buddy app if you haven't been utilizing it already, or start recording it on a diary or a journal, just so you can capture how often are you getting migraines, what are the triggers, whatever the direct service connected disability is, those would be the triggers. And then talk about how does it affect you personal life, with your friends and family, and at work, how does it affect your work performance? Like, do you have to cut out from work? And then if you're leaving work or taking sick days, running up all your leave days, you can use that as medical evidence as well. The more overwhelming your package is for any single individual claim, the better the odds of you getting service connected, as well as getting into those higher percentage tiers at Love God. Hopefully that answered your question. We got Loam Fade Fall Ways. Okay, let me see that. Okay, try to backdate OSA to the date I filed, not to the day I went in to the sleep debt. Okay, what's the 9? Said I provided no new evidence or anything provided that I needed a CPAP before the date of the sleep study. Let me try to digest this. Okay. Try to file. Okay. Well, not that day I went to sleep lab. Okay, so just reading this. What's the 9? Okay, so you put in a claim. You were denied for sleep apnea. You tried to file back to the date. I say date. I filed that. To the day I filed. Or were you service connected and they just... Hold on. Break it down, Long. Break it down. Because it seems like, okay, you're definitely going to need a CPAP machine before the sleep study date. I mean, if you took a sleep study and you were diagnosed with sleep apnea, they're gonna put it back to the date of... I mean, more than likely, I would assume you got the sleep study prior to submitting a claim. And then from there, if you were diagnosed with sleep apnea and then they issue you a CPAP machine due to the required use of a CPAP machine, then it's not... the effective date is going to be the date of the claim, unless you file within a year of your ETS or EAS. I mean, get with your boy, Lump. L-O-M. Lump always. So yeah, talk about it. Chat with me. Say, what's the nice I provided no new evidence or anything providing that I needed a CPAP machine before the date of the sleep study. Okay. So what would I ask from you? Were you service connected or denied? Because I'm assuming you were denied. And from that, when the VA sent you the decision letter, what was the specific reason for denial? All right. Well, while he or she gets into that, hopefully, okay, there you go. They sent me to a sleep study. Okay, did you file a claim and then they sent you to a sleep study within the claim? Or did you submit a claim first? I mean, prior to submitting a claim, you got a sleep study and everything conducted, got the diagnosis for sleep apnea, then you submitted a claim for sleep apnea. Or was it the first thing I explained? Did you submit a claim for sleep apnea and then they did another sleep study? Or your first sleep study? I'm going to need the meat and potatoes. Nick the Magnificent. How can I get insomnia secondary to major depression and recurring anxiety? I take meds. I have sleep apnea, but gotten to 0%. So what steps you... Okay. So, Nick, let me see. Okay, secondary to sinusitis. Denied because not a sleep study. Okay. If you didn't have a sleep study, always, when you submit that supplemental, you're gonna have to develop a personal statement that addresses that specific issue. It's like, hey, as well as your medical evidence needs to support, sleep apnea being secondary to sinusitis. Like pretty much your doctor, they evaluated you, they assessed you, as well as going through your complaints. It's causing sleep apnea. I'm not sure if you're taking medication for sinusitis or if it's just respiratory. The respiratory issues, they're interlinking. So if you have sinusitis, more than likely you have rhinitis and things of this nature. They already awarded me already. So you got sleep apnea. You were just trying to fight the effective date. All right, back to Nick. Nick. Okay. So for you, how do I get insomnia secondary to sleep, major depression, and anxiety? Okay, so for mental health, you don't need multiple diagnoses in order to get an increase. You're gonna need to show an increase of symptomology and impacts to your personal and your work life since your prior CMP exam. So if everything's gotten worse since your last CMP exam, you need to capture what was said and what was recorded in that CMP exam. Write it all down in a personal statement and be like, okay, hey, my symptoms have gotten worse with S thoughts, anxiety, depression, and things of this nature. Like, you don't need to go out get multiple diagnoses, but you need to show how your symptoms have increased as in severity, frequency, as well as how does it impact your personal and your work life. And then for sleep apnea, you probably got a 0% for sleep apnea because you don't have the required use of a CPAP machine. I would definitely look at that and see, look at your medical evidence to see if you require the use of a CPAP machine. And if you do require the use and the VA just missed that, you could possibly submit a supplemental. Well, if they miss it and it's within a year, you can definitely submit a supplemental or a higher level review. Just depends. Oh, no, they awarded me just trying to backdate it. Okay. To the original claim. Always. Okay, did you submit a... Let me see. This is going to seem kind of hard. Definitely, you can... I mean, that would possibly have to be a Q, a clear and unmistakable error claim. And that's a... that's a Board of Appeals claim-ish type of thing. It just depends on if once you submit that claim, you need to submit it with everything that was originally. So the way you can fight effective dates is if you put something in 2018, like use me for example. I mean, I already spoke my VSO. I got a strong case to challenge the effective date to the original claim date for Q. Clear and unmistakable error. So you submit all this medical evidence, to say June 2018. And then you were denied. Fast forward to December 2021, January 2023. Summer of 2022. You submit the same evidence in a supplemental claim, and the VA service connects you for it. Then that way, like, it needs to be the exact same medical evidence. Nothing changed. Absolutely nothing in your medical evidence. You can change this personal statement if you supplied one, but the medical evidence that you supplied on the original claim needs to be the exact same for the new claim. That's the only way you can challenge the effective date. Always. Hopefully that answers the question. Who called me? Somebody called you, but hopefully that answers your question. Back to Nick. Should I go secondary to depression also? Nick. Yeah, you definitely don't need multiple. You don't need multiple mental health claims. You just need to express your symptoms. Express how, all of these mental health issues are intertwining and affecting your personal and your work life. And I would say do a personal statement. The way I did my personal statement for insomnia, for my mental health, was I went in for an increase, and I spoke about how my symptoms have gotten worse. I first, I put on the top of the page what the claim is for. After that, I list all my symptoms that I've been experiencing, that I've complained to my doctor, the frequency, how is it, and then after that, I go into explaining how has this mental disability been affecting me in my personal life with my friends, family, kids and shit, and as well as from work. And then you can collaborate that by obtaining a personal state or buddy statement from friends and family to satisfy the personal side, co-workers or supervisor to satisfy the professional side, and then you submit those to the VA, and then more than likely you should warrant an increase. All right, back to Nick. Yeah, I was talking to you, Nick. Okay, well, I see. Psychologist, so that'll be no problem. Got you. Yeah, no problem, Nick. No problem, Nick. Yeah, you definitely need to report. I mean, if you're seeing a psychologist on a daily, not daily, but frequent basis, you want to report your symptoms. Like, always talk about your symptoms, how they, if they've increased, they've increased. If you have new symptoms, you have new symptoms. Definitely want to start with symptoms associated with the CFR 38 and how the VA rates claims, because some veterans, they talk about symptoms that they're not related to anything mental health, but they still try to get benefits for some off the wall symptoms. And then on top of that, you want to talk about if you've lost your job, if you can't obtain employment, if you're always going to and from different jobs and stuff like that. If you've lost work responsibilities, you want to tell that to your psychologist. So it's on documentation. So when you submit that claim for an increase, the VA, they're going to see all of that. They're going to see your complaints to your psychologist. Your psychologist is taking all the symptoms down, all the impacts to your personal and your work life. And then on top of that, only thing you got to do is build increase that foundation with a personal statement, a strong buddy statement from one friend or family, and then, one from a coworker or supervisor. Supervisor, it has great impacts to the claim, positive impacts. All right, back to always. Sleep Last said, I need CPAP, but will only pay from the date. Not that I feel. Is it just me, or does every claim go back to the date you filed? Yes, so it does go back to the date you filed, unless you're within a year of ETS, always. So say if you submitted a claim, where are we in? Fucking June. You submitted a claim last June 11th, like today's the 11th. It came back denied this past January, 4 or 5 months ago. And then you resubmitted a claim, a supplemental for that same claim, March, and it came back approved and well, as long as you submitted it in March, the effective date will go back until June of last year, for like an original claim. But if you didn't keep that claim alive, or you didn't submit a claim within a year, then that's when the lapse begins. If that makes sense. Back to Nick. I'm at 70% for depression. Oh, sure. There you go. Yeah, definitely. Going from 70% to 100% for mental health is a stretch. It's a leap. So your medical evidence definitely needs to be on point, Nick. Definitely. And if you can seek secondary options, by all means, I would say go off of those too. But you definitely, prior to submitting that claim for an increase, you definitely want to make sure you have everything in order to maintain 70, as well as to get an increase from 70% to 100%. So just keep that in mind. Any other questions? She bless. I see 3 y'all in here. There's a third. Oh, 4. Okay. Hey, what's up, VA Disability? Hey, y'all got any questions? Take a look at the chat. I mean, I know it's 4 of y'all in here, but want to make sure I answer all questions. Oh, no problem, Nick. Definitely. If you want to, always talk offline. Okay, Lisa. You can always hit me up in the DMs. I think I have my personal email on the About page, or you can just hit me up in any comments. Always, what is a reasonable amount of rounds of supplementals and higher level reviews to file for dry eyes? 20% currently. For dry eyes, 20% currently at 0% before filing. So you're currently at 20%? I mean, it just all depends on your medical evidence. Like, if it strongly supports getting higher percentages, hey, by all means. Like if the VA rater or the examiner, if they're missing or if they're just not looking at the medical evidence that you supply, you don't have to keep, doing different rounds of higher level reviews and supplementals. But you definitely need to address that. Like, have you been doing like personal statements and stuff? Or you just been like submitting claims, and if they denied higher level review and then motherfucker supplemental. Yeah, all right, yeah, definitely. You definitely. I mean, if you address it with just a personal statement, but you gotta be specific. It's like, hey, I was denied. What social media? Look, what social media you on, bro? Nick the Magnificent. I'm just on YouTube. I mean, that's not really social media, and TikTok. The exact same name on TikTok. All one word, because TikTok's kind of weird like that. But yeah, dog, you hit me up on there. Anything else? But yeah, so yeah, definitely always if you address it specifically, a VA decision letter dated January 1st, 2023. Y'all denied me due to this issue, but my medical evidence supports 20% or 50% of sleep apnea. But my medical evidence wasn't considered. I mean, it was listed, but it doesn't seem like it was considered because you meet the criteria for that higher percentage. You definitely need to call it out. And if they denied you on a supplemental, you submit that higher level review. More than likely, at higher level reviews, they yield, an increase or service connection. So definitely you want to check that out. But, so I'm going to be on here for another 3 minutes. If you got any questions, let your boy know. Hopefully next time I go live, it'll be on my laptop. So it's not too weird looking. Got good input, got good some, but still got a question, yeah. So just to finish out, so I filed 4 things this past September. I did 2 claims, supplemental for my back. Okay, always. Is it better to use private doctors for psych or VA? Private. I would say if you have a VA doctor, ask them first. I mean, some locations it could be different. I mean, I'm not gonna rule out all VA doctors being trash, but majority of them are. Ask prior to trying to even get any medical evidence. Why is this message held for review? Okay, review message. You need to get your housing and find yourself a woman because trash. I'm in here trying to get some. Oh sheesh! I got a moderator up in here. Okay. I'm located in SoCal, so you definitely wanna. Let me see. First, talk to that VA doctor, that psychiatrist, and see if they're willing to, help you build medical evidence as well as provide a DBQ for an increase or an IMO if needed. If not, definitely you want to take advantage or just leave to private doctors, because you don't want to go months seeing VA doctors and they're not willing to help you out because it's a conflict of interest. Me. All right. But until next time, if you got any questions, you can always hit me up in the comments. Hit me up on the community tab. I'm always on there. I'm always answering comments in individual videos on a regular basis. Just keep up with that. But hope y'all get those benefits. Stick with the claims process. Road to 100%. This depot, motherfucker, veterans, year to vet, 2023. Where they at? Hopefully that answers your question. Always submitted. How do I get a private doc evaluation submitted? So you can, the same way you would like, so you can file, like when you file a claim and you utilizing private doctors, you just need to provide, either you can download it offline. Most private doctors have an online module. You can download all their notes, or if you take in like a DBQ specifically for them to fill out, you should get it back same day. If you have them like create a IMO or letter, pretty much a letter or a statement supporting this disability more than likely started in the military, or ex-veterans mental health has increased in severity and impacts to his personal and his work life are shown due to this. Definitely that's how you'll get that. But whenever you submit a claim, like a new claim or increase supplemental for anything, and you're utilizing a private doctor, you're gonna have to write that private doctor's office and information on that claim submission anyway. So even if you're unable to get all those details, and like say if your doctor say, oh yeah, I'll write it down, but I'll make sure I'll provide it to the VA. But more than likely, private doctors are gonna give it to you. Either email, you can download it off the website, or in hand. But you're still gonna have to put that doctor's office contact information on the claim submission form, so they'll be able to get it. Oh, well, hopefully that answers your question. But until next time, this is fucking Debo out. Oh.